Well, a new novel called A Rainbow in the Dark, written by two local authors, examines the hardships of the first black professor at Southwestern Oklahoma State University. The fictional book, based on true events, shows how this man overcame many obstacles and helped others succeed. The authors and the professor joined me in our studio. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, of course, of course. Now, you both were students of the professor. How did he inspire you?
Well, I was a student at Southwestern, and I happened to just take his course. And as the course went along, I really learned that I liked biology, was doing well, and Dr. Kirkland called me into his office one day and asked me where I was headed, and asked me if I'd ever thought about going to medical school, which I hadn't, and that's where it all started.
How neat. And you knew him as well.
I did. I had Dr. Kirkland in 1989 in an introduction to zoology class, and I quickly decided that I needed to probably major in English, something to do with writing. A very difficult class, but he was a wonderful professor, and I had a great relationship with him.
Oh, that's great. Now, obviously, this is so exciting. It must be exciting for you that they wrote a book about you.
That is great for me, and I just feel honored to have them to think that they can write a book for me.
I know, I know. Now, what did you teach? What were you a professor of?
Of zoology and biology.
Okay, yeah, what you were saying. Very nice. That's so cool. So you were able to influence a lot of students, it seems like.
Well, I certainly hope so. I get a lot of responses, so it makes me feel real good.
I bet. Okay, well, tell us about the book.
Well, the book came about as a series of conversations that I had with Dr. Kirkland, and I realized that this needs to be told. And I tried to write the book on my own and quickly learned I didn't have the time nor the ability to write the book. And my old friend Patrick Chalfant is one of the best storytellers I've ever met, and he has a couple of books. When the Levee Breaks was the book I read of his I couldn't put down, and I called him, and that's when he came into the story.
Oh, that's wonderful. So then, yeah, explain to us, so the book itself is fictional, but based on true events.
It is. The thing that really drew us into the story was Dr. Kirkland grew up in Atoka, Oklahoma, very small town, 1940s. This is the era before civil rights, and it's also the era when our troops were overseas. It's stateside World War II. Wade and I were immediately drawn to the story because of the small town. We are from rural America. He and I are from Roger Mills County, and we quickly identified as we sat and talked to Dr. Kirkland, the characters, the archetypes that are in every small town. And the thing that was amazing that we discovered as we went on, Dr. Kirkland was offered a hand up by a white pharmacist in 1940 in the early 1940s, and
so we got a job with him.
Absolutely, and the gentleman Mesquite Carney offered him a job, and Kirkland was on his own. His mom and dad had left to pursue better opportunities, and so really Kirkland was alone. He was a rainbow in the dark, and this gentleman from the other side of town extended his hand across the aisle, and it made an incredible difference in Dr. Kirkland's life. And we thought the story was just fascinating, and especially what Dr. Kirkland has taken from the opportunity that he was given. I think that he's turned around and he's given so many of us the same opportunity.
You read the book, I'm sure. What do you think?
I think it's a real good book, and it makes me feel good to have a book written by me.
Yeah. And so it's fictionalized to a certain extent. Did they get it right?
They did. They sure did.
Okay, good. That's so exciting. Tell me about some upcoming book signings you have coming.
Well, we do have some upcoming signings. On February 11th, we'll be in Tulsa at Steve Sundry's bookstore. February 15th, we'll actually be at Ralph Ellison Library here in Oklahoma City, and that will be from in the evening. And then on February 18th, we'll be at Best of Books, and that's at Kickingbird Square in Edmond.
Yeah, very nice. You'll be all over.
That's
we
right.
will.
That's
we
great.
Will.
Yes.
Well, if people want more information about the book and book signings, what's your website?
It's arainbowinthedark.com.
Perfect. Awesome. What a privilege to meet you. You obviously are an inspiration to a lot of people.
Thank you very much.
Yes,
Thank you for
you guys
having
are great
us.
authors.
Thank
Thank you.
You bet. Thanks.